What should I do now? They're on to me. I'm going to get fired in a week. Yeah, everybody can relate to that, of course. Everybody experienced those kind of feelings at some point. It's what scientists nowadays calls the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome sounds scary, right? Sounds fancy at the same time. But why we are feeling like imposters in the first place? Number one, there's a self-doubt. Okay, you're in a new environment. You left your home country, you left your home city, you left your family, chasing a dream, working in a great company like Netcentric, and you find yourself in the office surrounded by great people, brilliant, smart people who do great things. And you're asking yourself, oh boy, am I good enough? What am I doing here? Who am I kidding? I would never make it here. Number two, it's a lack of communication. I had the opportunity to attend a really great class from my friend, a great JavaScript developer, a rock star. And he mentioned at one point, hot query. I was sitting on my ass for a good 20 minutes. I wasn't alone. There was some Romanian colleagues here with me as well, asking the same thing. What the hell is hot query? Is it some kind of a query? Is it some kind of an AEM thing, some internal stuff? And instead of asking in the first place, I spent good 20 minutes missing out on a great lecture until I finally asked what hot query is. It's in fact very well known JavaScript library named jQuery, but because of a lack of communication, we haven't established that at some point. Number three, there are personality differences. Sure, not everybody can be like me to talk all the time, not feeling shy and stuff like that. We have a shy people here in the offices too, who are not so good in the spotlight. I'm not good in the spotlight either, but at least I'm trying. So what I'm trying to say here, imagine yourself end up in a meeting, sitting in the corner, thinking, what the hell these people are talking about? I can understand a single thing. I will look small. I will sit in a corner, hopefully nobody will ask me anything. And if from some point somebody asks me something, I will say, you know, I'm much better listener than speaker. I'm not used to speaking in these environments. I will listen, and later on I will learn that on my own, and I'm much better like that. No, that's not a good mindset. You have to overcome yourself, and you have to become better. Okay, we saw what are making feeling like imposters. How we can avoid not feeling like imposters anymore. Number one, take the little wins. I gotta tell you, take the little wins because in the first days, they will be everything. Do the update on the internal documentation, project documentation. Review things. Contribute with the small code fixes. If you see on some website of our clients that something is missing, there's a margin, color problem, report the bug. Fellow colleague developer will appreciate that. Why? Because one head cannot see everything. Two heads are always much better than one, and they can see 2 times better than one. And number three, show that you care. Make it personal. Invest yourself. I will tell you one great story about my first 7 days at Netcentric. I left my country. I left my family, my wife and my 2 beautiful daughters. I came here pursuing a dream of working at a company like Netcentric. I ended up in the office. Sure, I'm a big 30-year-old man who's been through everything in life, but still, at that point, I felt vulnerable. There is a colleague in our office who came every morning, walking by my desk, asking me, hey, how are you doing? How are things? Are you managing yourself? What do you think about our project? How's your family? What do you think about Berlin? Really plain, normal question. Boy, that was really helpful for me. I participated for a good 5 or 6 days in those kind of conversations each morning. And it really make me feel welcome, feel accepted, and overcome my fears massively. That colleague is Stefan Heimann. He's the Henkel account owner. He is the kind of guy who comes every morning in the office with a big pile of problems on his desk. He's on the phone 24/7. He never sleeps. He rarely eats. And he never played a kicker game in his life. I never saw him. But still, managing to look like a 17-year-old boy. I envy him because of that. But joking aside, besides all of that, he still managed to squeeze in 5 to 10 minutes of his time because he saw that I needed it. And he helped me massively. And you know what's the best thing about it? He's hearing this story for the first time. You should see his face right now. Thank you, Stefan, one more time for these 7 days. It helped me a lot. Okay. Now we know what is making us feeling like imposters and what we can do to overcome that. Let's see the concrete stuff, what we could do to improve front-end onboarding experience here at Netcentric. And don't get me wrong, I worked for a lot of companies in my career. I trained a lot of colleagues, and this is by far the best onboarding experience, front-end or not front-end, that I had. And I'm really enjoying it. But let's see how we could make it even better. Number one, invest more time. We definitely should invest more time. I know that we are all busy with our projects, with our tickets, and with everything else, but that's really, I think that could make a difference. Do the onboarding presentation in person instead of just sending out the presentation for a newcomer to read. I will share my presentation after this as a comparison to the live version and to just sending out the presentation. I'm sure that you will notice the difference. Focus on more important things related to AEM. Improve presentation material and work on it consistently. Number two, we could ask for feedback. After invest more time situations, and after we invest our time to improve everything, we should give a new guy who comes 2 or 3 days, and then get back to him and ask him, okay, did you manage to soak everything in? Did you manage to remember? Do you have any holes that needs to be filled? Do you have any questions? Let's see how we can help you even more. After explaining answers on those kind of questions, we can even include him on our own project. For instance, if I'm working on a Henkel, I will include my colleague who never worked with EAM on a project and share with him my tickets that I'm working on. Later on, we could compare our codes, and who knows, maybe I will learn some new ways which I can do my coding better, and he can learn something from me. And that way, both of us build up our knowledge, build up our quality, and improve as a team, as an individual. We can always ask for another opinion. There are great guys coming, great talents, great minds coming in to work for Netcentric from different cultures, different backgrounds, different environments, and they can contribute. Ask, what do you think about our material? Do you think anything else could be added? Do you think that time could be spent more? I will address the example of a great opportunity that I had in Barcelona to attend the Advanced Academy. And for instance, in my personal opinion, some of those days could be used better. For most of the days, we were learning about general stuff, about general things. Then we switched to the front end, and there was like really important things like webpack building or connecting our code with the AM, which we simply didn't have enough time to invest, to learn. So it's important to ask our newcomers and ask everybody about the opinion, because we can all contribute to make our life easier, to make our people better, to make us more quality developers, because as we slowly improve it as an individual, we will grow as a team and improve as a team. And who knows, maybe tomorrow you can end up having a bunch of problems on your fancy new client website, And the newcomer will jump in with the knowledge that you provided him and say, okay, Suki, let's do this together. We can fight this together. So what are the main takeaways? You're not alone. It's completely natural for you to feel like imposter sometimes. Everybody does that. But you need to relax. Job is not everything. Talk about sports, talk about food, talk about guys, talk about girls, talk about whatever you want. Give it some time. It will all fall into place. I don't know exactly to tell you when, but if you do it constantly and you constantly try to improve, at one point you will do like, I'm better now. I feel safe. I'm accepted. I'm constantly improving myself, and I'm a good developer now. I can contribute to my team effectively, and I can contribute to the company as well. Anyway, that's it from me.